Hi everyone, this is Gloria with stampwithgloria.com. Today I'm going to do some crafts with you, some really cool crafts. I'm going to show you how to make magnolias so that you can use them with your craft projects at home. So like a three-dimensional type magnolia. So what we're going to be using is some Stampin' Up! Product, and this set and dies are in the annual catalog. And I have just a beef with this. Just one of the things that annoys me so much is I store my dies not with my stamp sets, but in a separate area on these magnetic sheets. And of course I have them in an envelope and then I labeled them. But I was running into the problem. So I've had this die for probably a couple of years now. I think it came out in a smaller catalog and then went into the annual. But I could never remember the name of the stamps that went with the dies because I'm old and I don't remember things anymore. But wouldn't it be cool if they just named the dies after the stamp set? So let's call it Good Morning America, or Good Morning America. Good Morning Magnolia Dies. Let's name our dies after our stamp set. Then it would be super easy to find. Okay, and I could advertise to my heart's delight, and none of this would be frustrating. So, because they have not done that, I've suggested it actually, but they didn't do it because I suggested it. Just saying. But here's that set. What I do now is when I get new sets, like this is new to the mini catalog. What I do now is, I guess I was going to show you the punch because that's the one I just grabbed real quick. But on the die sheet, I would put a label that said Good Morning Magnolia on the die sheet. Okay. And then on the stamp set, I would put Magnolia Memory Dies on the stamp set. So this is just kind of in reverse because this goes with a builder punch. So what I did, I obviously did not put the name of the stamp set on the punch, but I did put it on here, Ice Cream Cone Builder Punch. But you see where I'm going with this. Labeling stuff so that you're organized is a lot easier. Plus, the other thing is, if you put on your stamp set that you have dies, then you have the dies. Sometimes people can buy the set, but they can't get the dies right away. And then you're looking through all of your stuff. If you're not organized, you're going through piles. So this is just an easy way to get organized. So I just wanted to point that out. It's one of my little pet peeves. If you want to talk to Stampin' Up! And tell them, let's change this, that would be super cool. So anyway, so the project we're doing today is my friend Leela. She did some crafting with me. Ooh. I don't know if you can see it. Let me see. Yeah. Oh no, I'm not going to move that camera. I'm not moving my face camera. So just let me show you a picture of the apron I have on that you can't see very well, which is sad. So I got to tell you this story. This is so funny. My friend Leela, she wanted to do some crafting with me, and she got the cutters and the stuff that you could iron on to material and everything. So the apron I have on actually has this saying on it. So she texted me and she says, "What do you want your apron to say?" And I said, "Back off, I'm crafting." Because I want to say that to my husband all the time because he always bugs me at the point where it's like, please just leave me finish this. But, he always needs me for something. And I want to say that. And then in the text, I put a smiley face and love Gloria. So she took that literally. And I love it. I love it so much. Oh, here, I can stand up. You can see it. There we go. Back off, I'm crafty. Love Gloria. Isn't that the cutest thing ever? I loved it. So she did a really good job, took me literally, and made me this apron. So I love wearing it. It's so cool. And we're crafty today, so I thought, well, it's very appropriate. But let me go back to here. The dies that we're going to use off of the sheet here are going to be these 3 here, okay? And then we're going to use the leaf die, okay? Just so you know which dies that we're going to use. Now, every time I do a project like this, I don't know, it's just, I'm just one of those people that's curious. So I actually wanted to see what Magnolias look like and what kind of colors that they came in. So here's a picture that I found of Magnolias, and they are the most beautiful flower. They come in a lot of different colors. And then if you can see on this picture here, you can see that they have kind of blunt end leaves, like it's a rounded end. Okay, so let me show you this die again. So these don't really have that blunt end. I mean, you look at pictures and you could probably see some of these, but they're more often than not like a rounded end, and then that glossy green, that beautiful green. So I'm going to show you how I kind of got around that, you know, to my satisfaction, because, you know, like I said, I'm just always curious about things. So I just want to know how things work. But what we're going to get started doing is I'm going to show you how we make the flowers. Okay. So like I said, I cut out, you know, several of these images, the small, medium, and large image. Okay. And now we're going to form them. All right. And when I'm talking about forming them, you want to form them and let them dry, because that way you can put them together and, you know, you can't manipulate them much after you form them and let them dry. So you can kind of fuss with that a little bit. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So there's a couple of ways I color something. So I wanted to go with Blushing Bride, which is like a beautiful pink color. It's got some brown tones in it. It's got the pink in it, of course. So I wanted to go with that. And then I wanted darker sections of the flower, and I'm going to show you what I mean in just a second, and lighter sections. Because, you know, when a flower opens up, it gets lighter and lighter. But when it's all tight and together, it's a little bit darker because all of the color concentrates in one area. Does that make sense? So what I've done is I want the concentration of color to be on the smallest set of petals. So we've got small, medium, and large. All right. So these two, I'm actually going to just take a dauber and I'm going to ink up some color, and I'm going to then spritz it with water and form it. So what I mean is I'm going to just take, you can see this good, and I'm going to just ink it up. And now I want you to know that I cut all of this stuff out of watercolor paper. Okay, so, and the reason I've done that is it's a sturdier paper, of course, for when you're doing a project like this and you're forming things. But the other thing is when I do something like this inking technique, you know, where we want a deeper color on it, it will all blend together. Now, you could just use, you know, Blushing Bride, a cardstock, and do it. It's just a little bit, it's very delicate. So this particular technique wouldn't lend to a really good result. So that's why we're using this. Now, this is a foam pad that we have. This is a case of ours. Of course, you know, I'm putting it in the case because it's plastic, and when I spritz water on, it's not going to go all over my work pad here. And we actually can use the water over and over again just by sinking the paper in it and getting it wet, and then we can form it. But I'll show you what I mean here. So what we're going to do is just spritz the flower petals on each side. All right. And then I'm going to take a stylus tool. I'm going to take the biggest end of the stylus tool, and then we're going to start to form the flower. So when you form the flower, you want to just do little circles on the petal, okay, for at least for these little guys. All right, so we're going to do little circles, and you want those light and darks in there. So, you know, you don't want a super solid concentration of color. When you ink it, you want it to be a little bit light and dark to give some, you know, depth to your flower when you put it together. So there it is. And you can see that was pretty easy, but I'm going to do another one just, you know, just so that you guys can see that it's fairly easy to do. I had just a little spritzer bottle there. And so is everybody having a good 2021? I don't know. I had one of those days yesterday. I bought a new car. You know, I haven't had a new car in a long time, but 2 years ago I bought a new car. 6 months into the new car, a stone is thrown up and someone trashes my windshield. I'm like, okay. Buy the new windshield because, of course, insurance doesn't cover it or the deductible's $1,000, right? And buy the new windshield and it's $900. I'm like, super fun. I'm very excited. So there you go. So that's the second petal. Now, I'm going to show you what I do for the lighter colored petal. So I'm going to spritz it. And then I've got a spritzer with the Blushing Bride in it. And we're going to just sit and let that just dry just for a second. It doesn't have to be a long time, but I want the watercolor paper to absorb it a little bit. So anyway, back to the windshield. So I replaced the windshield and, you know, thinking, oh my gosh, for the life of the car, I probably won't ever have this happen again. And yesterday it happened again. So this time I'm thinking, well, it's like on the side of the windshield. It's not in the middle of it. It's on the side. There's a crack. So I bring it into the dude and I said, you know, can you just fill this in with epoxy and hopefully save the windshield? And he says, no, because it cracked through to the other side of the windshield. So now I need to buy another windshield for my vehicle that's not even 2 years old. But, you know, hey, 2021 is here. Super, right? Okay, so once that happens, you want to turn it over. Of course, you're going to want to spritz the other side. It's pretty wet right now because of me using these other colors here. So I'm just going to spritz the other side without spritzing it with water first. Does that make sense? Now, when these are bigger petals, so instead of doing little circles like I did with these guys over here, I am going to do a motion that's like a triangle. You see that? So each leaf is a triangle. And that's the motion we're going to use to form these leaves. All right. See, it's a different kind of motion and it makes it look just a little bit different. It makes the petals go a different way. All right. So we're going to finish this up and put that in there. You saw my last video, you saw that I have a new granddaughter and she's so cute and I cannot wait to see her. I still have that baby picture from the last time. She was only 7 days old on this picture. The snuggle is real. Isn't she cute? Okay, just had to talk to her about her just a second. Okay, so we're going to finish this up. Going around and around in a triangle. And then that gives us just a little bit different formation for us to put everything together. Okay, does that make sense? All right, so we've got that going on there. All right, so now I've got all of the petals together, and we're going to just tuck them together like that and glue them. Okay, so let me show you some dried ones. Now, I should show you how to do the, let's show you how to do the leaves first. Okay, so the leaves I do a little bit different technique because I want some variation in the color. So I am going to use the daubers again in a Mossy Meadow stamp pad. I'm going to grab that up And, oops, well, that's why I put more than one, so that, oh, there's one right here. I put more than one on my desk because I drop stuff and I don't want to like dip down during the video. But okay, so this particular one, we are just going to daub color around the edges of the leaf. And there's no rhyme or reason. It doesn't have to be pretty. You're just going to get that darkness around the edge of the leaf. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to do it on the other side too, because whatever you're doing, you might see the other side, right? That makes sense, huh? All right, so we're going to finish that up. All right, and then I would normally cut off, and let's see. Oh, there's a scissors here. I actually have all of my accessories. That never happens. Okay, we're just going to cut off that part of the leaf because we're not going to need it in the end design. Okay, so we've done both sides. Okay, dry, you know, paper to ink, dry, not wet yet. So now we're going to form this leaf. So we're going to get that going here. Oops. Grab something else. There we go. All right, this, because it's such a massive area, of course you want to spritz that, and then you'd see how the color is going to blend into the leaf. You want to use that triangle movement again. Okay, so we're going to just very carefully take, and you notice I did not spray the other side because this sponge is so full of water that the leaf will just absorb that water, and it'll turn into, it'll give me that definition that I want, you know, of the leaves furling and tucking around and not being flat, you know. So it's just, and this is kind of soothing, you know, when you have, I actually love making flowers. Years and years ago, I did something called lace draping, porcelain lace draping. So what I would do is I'd get porcelain molds and I'd have these dolls and they'd have like these straight skirts. And then I would make flowers out of clay and put them on the skirt, and we drape lace. It had to be 100% cotton so that the lace would fire out, but the porcelain slip would stay. And we used to make these beautiful, beautiful things. But this is like back in the day, like literally I started this when I was 16. And then back then there was competitions and all that kind of stuff. Haven't done it for years, but this kind of reminds me of that. It's very soothing to me. I really like it. But then you can see, let's put this on the paper, that we've got some really cool definition to the leaves. If there's some parts that are already dry, that's okay. But let me show you what happens like with the ink. So here's one that's dry, and then see, that's where the ink was. Let's see, right? See, there's spots. Here's ink here and ink down here. It just gives that leaf a more realistic look, doesn't it? It's so cool. Okay, I kind of like it, but so anyway, then you let everything dry. So I probably have, there we go. So I just put it on a towel to dry, and everything will dry. Now remember, it's going to dry a lot lighter, okay, than anything else. So you want to keep that in mind. All right. So now the last part of this project is the middle of the flower. Okay. And I took 2 small guys and 2 big guys to make that. Now I did give some of these a little bit of color with a dauber again on the outside, and I used Bumblebee. Are you so proud of me? I cleaned all my pads. I've done videos and my pads have looked atrocious, but I cleaned them for you. So I want you to know I'm thinking about you. But remember, this pad is really, really wet. And if you wanted to form them, it would be just a little circle in the middle. you know, so you get it kind of wet, and then you just take and you use a little circle and you get them to be the right size, because you're going to put them together, and you want them to all kind of sit like this. All right, so, and you can color some, leave some blank. That'll give you the different definition in it, and it'll look really pretty. Okay, so these will let dry. Oh, I'll set them here. It doesn't take long for them to dry, so we'll let them dry quick. So basically, those are the steps to putting the flowers together. So now, once they've dried, let me grab one or a couple so I can show you. Okay, so once they've dried, you can put them together. So here's one all done up. Do you like it? Do you love it? Isn't it cute? Okay, let me show you how to do that. So I use the green glue, and those of you who watch me know that I just call it the green glue, but its technical name is Tombow Mono Liquid Glue. Okay, so I just put some in the middle, and then I would take the middle one and tuck that in there. I'd probably hold that down for a second or two just to make sure that the glue starts to stick. It gets tacky really fast, so that won't take you long. And then we'll put the middle one in there. Okay. And then I'm going to just hold that one down too. Okay, and then we have your flower. I think I've done the middle. Yep, I did the middle there. I want to make sure I did that. So exciting, right? Ah! I love doing this. Okay, now let's do these guys. These are a little more delicate because they're not quite dry yet. So I'm just going to plop them all together just so we can finish our flower so you know what it looks like. And that's on the bottom too. Okay. And so actually you could probably use the dry part of your guy again. And you want to use the small side of the stylus. And we're just going to let that dry. But see, by pushing it into the foam, it makes it a tighter looking middle so that it's easier to put into the flower. Tuck it in. See, we're all done there. Okay, that was easy. Now we're going to just use some of our green glue in the middle of this guy here and tuck him in. And we're going to wait a couple of minutes for it to dry. Now, in every type of flower that you have, of course, you've got the buds. And I want to show you how to make the buds. Now, I make the buds. I like put something together like this, and then I make the buds. It's really hard to do it when it's wet because you can't glue it together. And I'll show you what I mean in just a second. So we'll let those dry. But there's two more Magnolias. It's quite a mouthful. So once you have a section of petals, you're going to cut like a little triangle at the base. So let me get that cut out. Did you see how I did that? And towards the center. So we're going to do another triangle right there. Good. And another triangle right there. So we're just getting closer to the middle. All right. So kind of cut out the middle. So this is what it normally looks like. It's kind of fat and round in the middle, and this is smaller in the middle. So then you're going to just put a dab of glue on the outside and then maybe up on the sides of the petals there. And then what we're going to do is just rotate that, okay? And we're going to hold that for a second till it, grabs. Okay. I know, right? Who knew this could be so easy? You can do this. You can do this. I know some of you are saying, oh, I don't want to do it. It'll take too much time. And actually, it is super quick. It doesn't take a lot of time. Okay, and then we're going to hold that down on the glue. There we go. Excited. Okay, let's let that one dry. Let me show you what it looks like. See? Looks like a little bud, right? Okay, let's do one more. and then I'll show you what I did for the project. It's so cool. My friend Leela, she helped me with this too. I don't do like the vinyl saying stuff that everybody's getting into because I'm afraid to have another craft and have no room for it. But my friends do it, and so I get to go see them. I have a friend, Dara. She does it. She does amazing. She does like the funniest things, and her business is called Dragon Fart Designs. And I've probably mentioned her before, but if you go online, just she's got a website. Go to Dragon Fart Designs. Then you'll see her stuff, and it's just, I think it's hilarious. But you know, that's me. And then see, we've got our little bud. All right, so we're gonna let that glue take hold. Oops. Oh. Then we're going to put everything together, and I'll show you my project. You're going to love it. I know you're going to love it. But you thought this was going to take a long time, right? Let that dry just a little bit. All right. Close up the pad because I know I will put my hand in it because that's just what I do. Let me grab the project. There we go. Here it is, right? Okay, so my friend Leela, she cut this all out. And then the finish on the background I did. So it's all of the finish on the background basically is your base color. And then I took a foam brush and used white and then lightly skimmed it across. That's all it is. That's all it is. And then, you know, we did a little vintage thing. Actually, it was a happy accident, if I'm being honest. So you put this vinyl on, and then you so you cut this out, then you put it on a piece of vinyl, and then you stick it onto your thing, and then you pull it off, and then it sticks to your project. Well, when it pulled off, it pulled some of the paint off too, because we're learning. You know, I certainly was learning. I didn't know. So we're learning, but I like it because I like vintage looks, and I just liked it so much. And then she made the ribbon, and I decided I wanted some sort of flowers on it. So I came up with this Magnolia thing, and I'm going to put it right by my door on the inside. I thought I was going to put it outside, but no, I think I'm going to put it inside. But the Magnolias turned out so pretty. So I want to show you how I did that. So I've got 2 sets on now, and I've got to put one more set, tuck it in underneath here. But see how pretty this is? Oh, I love it, I love it, I love it. And it just says depends, welcome-ish, depends who you are and how long you're going to stay, right? We all have those people. We all have those people. Okay, so I've got my glue gun ready, but before I do the glue gun, I'm just going to take one of my leaves and tuck the Magnolias in here. So I want to do that with green glue again. Green glue makes me happy because it doesn't burn my fingers like a hot glue gun. It's like very sturdy, so I like it a lot, and it dries rather quickly. So, and then see how the leaves are just perfect in that solid image. So if we were actually working on that, the leaves actually cut out this big, bold Magnolia, okay, with the leaves. But as a silhouette, they're perfect with this technique. It almost looked like it was made for them to do that. So happy, happy, happy there. We love that. Okay, so we've got that going there. Now let's pull back we've got a couple of buds going on that we want to tuck in here and there. Let's pull back our sign. And then we've got that guy right there. I'm going to tuck these like in there. Oh, that looks good, right? You love it, right? Love it. But this I'm going to do with the hot glue gun. It's just no fun doing that with green glue. And you want to make sure you have something for your fingers. So I'm going to tuck that up in there and push that down so that it stays. And then the ribbon's perfect. She picked this ribbon out and it's perfect. I just love it. It's such a springy, lovely, you know, project to work on. And then we want to tuck in our buds. So I'm going to just put a little glue there. Whoop. You have to make the sound effects. I think I've mentioned that in other videos. And then I'm going to just make sure that I have that adhered correctly. Now, on the video, I do show a picture of this, and there'll be a picture. I'm going to shoot another picture for the internet, but it doesn't have this half on because, of course, in the video, I wanted to show you guys how to do this. There we go. Oh my gosh. How cute is that? I know, it's kind of fun. All right. So there we go. That's our project, you know, that you can see with the video here. Here is the, oops, not that one. This one. Here is the project all done up. And as you can see, I've got 2 sides done, but the third one I didn't quite get done because I wanted to show you how to do it. But this is what it looks like when you can fit it all into the screen. And I thought it turned out pretty well. I thought it was pretty cute. All right. And so you saw it, right? Okay, so now we're done. All right. Did you love this project? I love this project. But like I said, I love doing flowers and making them look real with paper. I know how to manipulate the paper, and I hope these tips were great for you. Now, I've got some exciting news. I am putting out a customer newsletter. It has the latest things that are happening in Stampin' Up. It's got more projects, plus it's got instructions for the projects. Okay, so if you want to subscribe to my letter, okay, my newsletter, you would get it once a week. Okay, you don't have to read it if that's too much, but I do send it out 4 times a month. Okay, but if you want to get my newsletter, please email me at gh.istt@gmail.com. Then I'll put you in the right group. I don't want to plop you in, you know, in a section where, you know, you might want to unsubscribe. So I'll put you in a separate group. And if you just hate the newsletter after a while, then you can unsubscribe from the group and everything will work out fine. Okay. And then I think that this is it. This is the end of the video today. And good timing because I just saw my husband's truck drive by and he's going to want something to eat. So I better get down there and get her done. I'm one of those women. Yep. Been married 35 years, still cooking for the man. But hey, I got to stay home and do Stampin' Up and raise my kids. So, yep, there go the dogs. Anyway, thank you for watching me today. I hope you have a great day. And please see me on Instagram and Facebook. Subscribe to my newsletter. You'll love the projects in it. And if you have any questions, email me at that email address too, gh.istt@gmail.com. And please go to my blog at stampwithgloria.com and see all the other ideas that I post there. Thank you. Have a great day.